Hello guys, welcome back to another video. My name is AFK Empire, and today I'm going to be sharing some helpful tips for Five Nights at Freddy's security breach. The reason I'm doing a tip video is because I've been seeing that people are having a hard time or getting stuck during their playthrough of this game, and I'm going to hopefully help with that. These tips will be good to know no matter what part of the game you're at, but if some of these don't help you or you think there are better things to make tips on in this game, please tell me in the comments. Also, if you wouldn't mind pushing that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it, and I'm planning on making new Five Nights at Freddy's security breach videos, maybe even another whole tip video if this goes well. Anyways, on to the video. Okay, so tip number one, I'm actually bringing you into the game. Ignore my mic quality now. It's something with the game playing at the same time messes it up a bit. I'll probably have to record on a different thing while I'm doing this. But the first thing you'll do is, these are very optional because it changes the gameplay a lot. It'll help, but it'll also change how the game feels in general. So the first thing you can do is you can turn your brightness and your gamma up to full whenever you're in a dark place. You'll be able to see so much better. Everything will be so much brighter. It will make well-lit areas look really weird though. And then in audio you can turn down voice volume, and I'll show you why I'm doing this in a second. If you turn it down all the way and just turn on subtitles, small subtitles, medium subtitles, don't do large subtitles. Large subtitles are bad, but small or medium, it'll tell you when an animatronic's in the area, and it'll tell you what they're saying. There's not really a reason not to have that on, but for the voice, this is why you want the this is why some people, especially speedrunners, would want their volume down to 0. Is here, I'll just show you this in you just get out right away. It's kind of crazy, but this is why some people use this, especially for the beginning. There's not lots of other times when you would want to use this, but it's a very good tip. And here's the brightness. It looks really weird, but if you go into a really dark place, it's almost as bright as this. That's the only good thing about it. Anyways, next tip. Okay, now that we're back to not sounding like a toaster, tip number 2 is, you know that chase scene earlier on that you might actually be stuck on currently, where Monty kicks down the fence and he chases you, and it takes a while. If you actually walk, I am not even kidding about this, if you walk during that chase scene, he will walk too, and it'll just be like the two of you having a leisurely stroll down. It'll be so much safer. You can easily do it on your first try. On to tip 3. Tip number 3. Sometimes instead of a quest item or a useless collectible, the presents scattered around the map can actually contain an item that will upgrade you and make you much faster, more sneaky, or even upgrades Freddy's battery power. These little upgrades will help tremendously in the long run and can make parts of the game later on much easier. But there are videos on locations of all these upgrade items, and I don't want to take too long putting them in here because this is just supposed to be a tips video, but I highly recommend watching a video and getting as many of these as you can. Tip number 4. During the fight with Moon, the alter ego of the daycare attendant, some people just panic and get jump scared because they don't know what to do. Something that most people know, but will help you a ton, is the distractions, which still work during this sequence whenever you are outside the play structures. It distracts the daycare attendant for around 10 seconds and gives you time to get to another play structure or generator. Another tip I have for this, which may seem obvious, is always try to keep calm and be daring when it comes to moving outside of the play structures. Hiding in one play structure forever, which I've seen people do, doesn't make you any safer in the long run and will only frustrate you when you eventually die because you will have spent more time on it. Anyways, on to the next tip. Okay, tip number 5. Now this tip is a bit controversial, but it's actually a comparison on Faz Blaster or Faz Camera, and I think you should get the Faz Camera, and this is why. The Faz Camera is worse as a weapon. It only offers one area of attack instead of the Faz Blaster's 6 skill-based attacks. But going for fast camera first allows you to do the Monty boss fight first as well. And defeating Monty turns him into basically like a fish. He just lays there on the floor. He can't do anything to you. And before that, he was previously this invincible super Gator that you couldn't even stun. And this makes the Music Man segment drastically easier, as the only animatronic chasing you is Chica, and she can be stunned. Now, this is from experience. A bunch of you are going to disagree. It's fine. I totally agree. They're both really, really good options. This is why I would recommend fast camera, but I mean, this is one of the tips that's way more optional. Anyways, tip 6. Okay, so tip number 6 is actually a bug that you really don't want to run into, and I'm just going to tell you how to avoid it. So for the sequence with the lost and found and the cutscene with Chica when you like push her into the trash compactor and you go into the sewer and all that, those are really cool moments. Don't, like, some of you might actually like try to go back to the trash compactor and press the button again. If you do this, you'll get pushed back down. You'll have to redo the entire thing again. It'll work. It'll be funny because Chica won't be there at first. But in the end, you're just going to get pushed back down and have to redo the whole sewer sequence. And then don't go back to Lost and Found unless you want to risk it, because some people have found that going back there actually resets them all the way back to 2:15 a.m. And if you're at like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. and you get reset back to 2 a.m., it causes a lot of problems in your game. Okay, so tip number 7 is actually a bunch of little bonus tips. Number 1, you can jump over metal railings around the map, not glass railings, but metal railings. This can help you do a little bit faster in certain parts of the game. Tip number 2, you can stun animatronics with a Fast Blaster and Fast Camera. The Fast Camera is really useful here because it can stun multiple in an area. And finally, you can hide from endoskeletons and Roxy to make them go away. This is really, really helpful, especially during the endoskeleton segment and when Blind Roxy is chasing you. Okay, so tip number 8. So when you are hiding from Roxy and Monty, when they're at both doors of like the security office and they're trying to break in, and it's trying to be like reminiscent of Five Nights at Freddy's 1, you don't actually have to play it normally. You can, there's a little corner, I will like circle it on screen. You can just hide there, and if you just sit there and hide there the entire time, they won't see you, they won't come into the office. You just sit there for 3 minutes and it'll be the easiest 3 minutes of your life. And this one's very useful. This is how I did it the first time. The first 2 times I like freaked out, and then I found out about this, and it was crazy helpful. Okay, so tip number 9 is that you can actually get jump scared during cutscenes, and it's really, really annoying. Like, I was doing the true ending with the elevator and Afton, and in the middle of the end cutscene, like, I was like, okay, cool, I beat the game, feeling accomplished, and then it just cuts to static, and it's like, retry. And I was like, oh shoot, what happened? And it turns out one of those black Twizzler things coming out of the floor actually got me during the cutscene. So the tip is just be very careful when you start be careful where you are if you think you're about to start a cutscene, because it can get ruined by this. The devs really need to fix this. That might get patched by the time you're watching this, but it's a big deal. So just be careful where you are when you are doing this. Okay, and final tip number 10. When you are done with parts and service and Freddy is questioning you about where you got the parts, do not tell him. He will not help you anymore if you tell him. He might actually even try to hurt you. So don't tell him where you get the parts. Don't tell him that you got Chica's voice box or Monty's claws or any of it. Just keep that a secret. Keep it on the down low, and you guys will be much more friendly to each other.
This upgrade, it was Chica's. Please be honest. How did you get it?
When I was in the kitchen earlier. She fell into some sort of garbage smasher.
Is she okay?
Well...
No!